Fellas, today we're talking about Namibia. Have you heard of Namibia before? President Trump called it Namibia. I don't know a country named Namibia. Yeah, he said Namibia.
Namibia.
Well, I like him. He says a lot of interesting things. Thank you very much for stopping by. You appreciate it. Today we're going to dive into Namibia. Here's a map. Beautiful place, lovely people. Thank you for stopping. I see you. I mean, if you stop already, it's a good vibe. This is family. This is where you want to be. You want to know about the motherland? This is where you want to be. And we want you here. Don't I look like your cousin? Of course, you look like mine. Thank you for being here. For all my fellas, I see you. Thank you so much for your support. We're making this bigger and it feels great. You know, they say we can't come together for the good things. We cannot come together for good benefit. We cannot come together for helping each other. It's a lie. Okay, I appreciate everybody and I thank everybody that's part of our personal groups. Thank you for growing this. Please, everybody click on like before we continue. Let's click on like so we can push this video further. Please do it. Is it done? Did you do it? You didn't do it. Please do it. Great stuff. Let's go. So in Namibia, the brand new president named Netumbo Nandi has announced on Thursday that our government will introduce free high school education. Congratulations, pick up our coffee. We love that. These are the kind of news we want to hear, fellas. Okay, so free higher education in state university, technical colleges starting next year.
Significantly subsidized by the government. I'm pleased to announce that from the next academic year, commencing 2026, tertiary education will become 100% subsidized by the government. That means no registration fees and no tuition fees. At all public universities and technical and vocational education center.
This president is not playing, okay? She's brand new. She's a mama. You know, in Africa, everybody that could be somebody else's mother, we don't call them ma'am. We call them mama. Yeah, mama means mother. It's out of respect because in Africa, generally, a child is never one person's child. A child is the entire community's child. Meaning, if your child comes into the community, it is the duty of everybody to make sure that he grows up appropriately, or at least be taught mannerism and the right things to do in the street. So somebody from your neighborhood could see your child trying to hop into somebody else's car. Hey, you, get out! Where are you going? I will tell your mother. Yeah, and no problem. Unfortunately, it's not exactly the same way it used to be in the past because people have too many rights right now. You can't talk to my child like this, so people kind of just pull back, you know. Anyway, we are in Namibia. Now, we call this lady Mama Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah. She's a brand new president in Namibia. She's taken power and she's coming with a bang. No stories, let's just make things happen. Okay, she said she's pleased to announce that the next academic year, commencing 2026, tertiary education will become 100% subsidized by the government. All right, subsidies are things government provide for entities. Could be business, could be a school. Now, subsidize simply means, don't laugh. We need to speak to our brothers. Not everybody understands everything. So, thank you very much for being very smart and understanding all that. We appreciate that. But there are some of our brothers here that don't necessarily understand everything. So we're here to break it down for everybody. Now, subsidize in this term means they're going to pay 100% of everything you need. Pick up my coffee again. Yes, this is happening in Africa. You need to give ladies more power. I always say this all the time. Now, Namibia already provides free education in public elementary and high schools, though parents still typically have to pay for school uniform and stationaries, books, and hostel fees. So, yeah, school uniform, parents have to provide stationery, books, and hostel fees. I mean, Namibia is one very stable country, okay? Beautiful place, lovely people, beautiful ladies. Look at that. And that. Beautiful ladies, look at that. And that. My brother just hold on a second. They are good-looking men too, but we don't look at men. So, okay, let's continue. It's beautiful to see that this policy will remove tuition fees and registration fees at universities and college. Why is this important? Because many Africans are very much capable of doing this, but they don't do it. Okay, it's costly. Why? Most of the time it's because they can make money out of you paying the salary. Yeah. They can make money out of you paying tertiary and university fees. Even though the country has enough money through minerals and other things to have enough money for everybody. Unfortunately, politicians in Africa think once they're in power, the goods of the country belongs to they and their families. They enrich themselves, they buy big cars for the first, second, third, fourth wives because they all have many wives. But let nobody fool you. Yeah, officially it's one wife. There's only one president from Senegal, this guy right here. Yeah, he stands on business. He's a polygamist. He's got 2 wives. Look at how beautiful this lady is. Yeah, he's official. In Senegal, polygamy is authorized, and we respect that. What we don't respect is a president who told his wife that he's got 1 wife, or he just want to marry her, then after he becomes president, he takes 4, 5, 6 wives. And unfortunately, the lady, the first lady cannot divorce because he's the president. You're leaving the president, where are you going? Anyway, let's get back to Namibia. Now, Namibia has a beautiful history and a very dark one as well. It was called German Southwest Africa from 1884 to 1915. You remember, Europeans came to Africa, they took over land, took over places, they named them countries, they chopped them, just like pizzas. I mean, not even like pizzas. Pizzas have structure. They just went cutting people from their brothers, a brother here, a cousin on the other side. They became different nations. Crazy stuff. Now, Germany took Namibia as the British took Kenya, Uganda and stuff. Germany claimed the area as a protectorate in 1984 during the scramble for Africa, a period in which European power divided the African continent among themselves. Namibia became one of Germany's most important colonies in terms of natural resources, particularly mineral and livestock. Now, something bad happened at that time. The Germans don't talk about it. When you hear people talk about bad people and bad things, they don't mention this. Well, fellas, in Namibia, during the early 19s, there was significant resistance from indigenous people, notably the Herero and the Nama tribe, to the German colonial rule. In response, Germany launched a brutal military campaign which led to the Herero and Nama genocide between 1904 and 1907. An estimated 65,000 Herero and 10,000 Nama people were unalive and many others. So basically, these brothers in this side of Africa resisted to the Germans. Okay, they wanted a little bit more respect, a little bit more consideration. I mean, obviously, you come into my continent, my country, and you want to rule over me and tell me how to do, and I must pay taxes and lend more and do your agriculture for you, and for what? Yeah, so the Germans sent weapons, and you remember the time they just fought World War, and yeah, it was bad. They unalived many people, brutally finishing them. And obviously, after World War I, Germany lost its colonies to some other European countries. Like Cameroon, that previously was a German colony, was divided by France and Great Britain. Namibia, on the other hand, was under the control of South Africa at the time. Now, another great news coming from Namibia. Yes, fellas, today we're talking about Namibia. Namibia has made a new discovery of what? Of oil. Congratulations! Pick up my coffee. Yeah! Let's go, baby! I like that. In Central Africa, they say, when your friend is winning, you must be happy. When your friend is winning, you must be happy. You must be happy when Namibia is winning. Yes, fellas. Namibia just confirmed, our discovery of Capricornus 1X well in the Orange Basin offshore in Namibia. So they've just discovered oil reserve, which will tremendously change the country. It's amazing. Now, has this happened before? Yes. Prior to this, Namibia had drilled several exploration wells since the 1960s, but many were dry and unsuccessful. You see what I mean? Sometimes dry and unsuccessful does not mean it's never going to happen. So they drilled before, they looked for it before, and never found, but they never gave up. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you say, oh, our country is not that rich, not like the other country, but you don't know because you don't have the resilience, you don't have the attitude, the combativity that you need. So Namibia, even though they failed many times in the past, they continue doing, they continue searching, and they found eventually massive offshore oil deposits. Now, this obviously have attracted major international oil companies in Namibia, with exploration and development activity accelerating. So we have this country where the lady has just said, okay, no more paying for university, and all of a sudden, boom, oil, okay? Let me remind you here, Namibia recently with this same lady has just imposed visa restriction and reciprocity to many European countries. Basically, if Namibian people cannot come to your country with no visa, then sorry, sir, you are not entering the country. This is an attitude people will expect from men. But many men in Africa, African leadership is just sad. They're just very good at beating their own people up. They will send you to jail, get you tortured, that they can do. But standing up for themselves and for their people, they're very much like coward. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest with you. And this lady, I don't know if it's because of her age, she doesn't give a fuck anymore. She said, if Namibian people cannot come to the US with no visa, then you USians or you whatever, you can come here, but you gotta have a visa. Same for Britain, same for European countries. Many African countries today still have a visa-free entry or policy for Europeans, but African people cannot go. Well, we're not going to get into that now. And many people were worried about that because Namibia based quite a lot on its tourism. You know, it's a beautiful place, Namibia. You have to visit. So many sites, so many locations you can visit, tourism. The tourism sector contributed about 6.9% to Namibia GDP, which is roughly $730 million. And tourism right now employs about 57,000 people. And Germany is still one of the top tourists, UK and America and South Africa. But the lady said, if you cannot come to your country with no visa, you are not coming here. So she's putting that chunk of money and 57,000 people jobs in jeopardy in the name of dignity. And I respect that. Congratulations. Now it's great because Namibia now has oil. Okay, it's beautiful. So many companies are rushing to Namibia, such as Total Energy, Shell, Chevron, Galp Energia, Qatar Energy. Imagine, Qatar Energy. They have oil, right? But they're coming to Namibia to look for more oil. Very strategic. There's Namcor and many others which I cannot name. Now, the question you're asking yourself, how are they going to make money? Okay, how do investors make? Let's learn something here. How do investors in oil make money? Oil companies make money through revenue sharing. Investors sign a production sharing agreement with the Namibian government, often through its state-owned company, Namcor. So the investor bears the costs of research, of drilling, of oil production, and typically the government gets a portion of the revenue. So in other words, an external investor will come to the country, get a license, start scanning, look for loopholes, drill, start producing, bring his machinery, his equipment. Once revenue comes, they split depending on how they agreed. So the country just sit down and watch you. You just do the job, you just pay us. Beautiful. And what economic implication this is going to have for Namibia? Anticipated oil production is expected to significantly boost Namibia's economy, potentially increasing the annual GDP growth to 8% within a decade. The government envisions that oil revenue will help diversify the economy and reduce reliance in traditional sectors like mining. So as you can see, this is beautiful to have because then you don't rely on one thing, not just tourism and some other mining. Yes, Namibia has mines. Namibia exports diamonds, uranium, zinc, copper, fish, particularly hake, monkfish, horse mackerel. Namibia exports livestock, meaning meat. Maybe some of your meat comes from Namibia. Beef is a major export for Namibia, mainly to the European Union and China. Yes. Namibia produces grape, dates, millets, and many other agricultural support. Congratulations to this lady, our mama. She's doing a tremendous job, and I hope many leaders follow through. You know, free university. Now you can go to, I'm just fancying Namibians right now, being excited. The drilling has not happened yet when it comes to oil, but it's there. The companies are there. Investment is being made, and it's going to be beautiful for this country. Let me know how you feel about this. It was a great pleasure. God bless.